the top German politicians have criticized remarks by Pope Francis calling for Ukraine to negotiate with Russia. Now, Thomas Sparrow from DW in Berlin has more on this and now joins us. Now, Thomas, why are German politicians so critical of Pope Francis' remarks?
German politicians, from the German Chancellor to the German Foreign Minister, were quick to criticize those remarks by Pope Francis because they consider, as some of Germany's closest allies also do, that Ukraine has a right to defend itself, that if there is one country that has the possibility to stop the war is actually Russia by withdrawing troops from Ukraine. In other words, German officials and other European officials as well see that this is not necessarily the time for political discussions, the time for negotiations to end the war, but rather that Ukraine has the right to defend itself from this that is seen as an illegal aggression by Russia, an aggression that violates international law, and that as such, so under international law, Ukraine has the right to defend itself. So basically, the remarks by Pope Francis have been criticized strongly here in Europe. The big question is whether those remarks will have an impact on public opinion, not only here in Germany, where there's a sizable Catholic population, but especially in other countries around the world, from Latin America to African countries, where Catholicism plays a very significant role and where any remarks by Pope Francis could also play an important role in public opinion. So it'll be interesting to see how all this develops, for example, in international forums where the war in Ukraine will continue to be debated.
Now, has there been any discussion on possible peace negotiations to end the war in Ukraine? What's Germany's position, especially on this matter?
German officials do think that at one point or another there will be a need for political discussions, but that those political discussions should actually happen eye to eye, should happen at a time when both countries, Russia and Ukraine, could actually negotiate on the same level. So not necessarily now, where Ukraine is still defending itself from Russian attacks, where Ukraine is still asking for more support from its international allies when it comes to weapons, when it comes to ammunition, when it comes to all sorts of political, military and economic help. So there are discussions as to when that could happen, when the correct moment would be for a political discussion. But both from Germany and from other European countries, that time has not yet arrived.
Meanwhile, Germany is debating whether to send some of its Taurus cruise missiles, but the issue has become very controversial. What's at stake here?
The focus from Germany, the focus from other European countries has been to actually help Ukraine politically, help Ukraine economically, but also help Ukraine militarily. And Germany has been criticized for its support of Ukraine, especially at the beginning of the war, for not making decisions as quickly as some of Germany's allies would have wanted to. But Germany is now one of the countries that has supported Ukraine the most militarily. And that is something that the German Chancellor and the German Foreign Minister repeat on various occasions when there's criticism towards Germany. However, the debate now here in the country is whether Germany should send Ukraine some of its very important Taurus cruise missiles. The German Chancellor is very critical of that idea, but some members of his coalition and in the opposition as well, there has been pressure growing for Germany to send some of those cruise missiles to Ukraine. There's even been discussion of a possible ring swap where Germany would send some of its cruise missiles to the UK and the UK in turn would send some of its cruise missiles to Ukraine in turn. But these are all discussions that are happening now. The question that's coming is to what extent Germany and some of Germany's allies would also continue to help Ukraine in the long term as the war in Ukraine continues.